Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. All things Middle Earth here with a quick video for you on the Undying, the tier 3 Nazgul commander for the evil faction. So stay tuned, we're going to look at this character's kit and how I've been using him and what my general thoughts are on the commander. Alright, you heard me correctly. We're looking at the Undying today. He is one of the two tier 3 Nazgul commanders, the other being the Witch King, which we are so close to unlocking. But we did a major pack opening on our last stream on Friday where we opened 500 Fathom chests. I'll link that up in the top right if you're interested in watching us pull through that. But I'll give you a second to click away before I spoil it for you if you want to watch that. We did not end up pulling the Undying by means of full pulling to unlock him. We had to unlock him the hard way by literally getting 30 of these unsettling rains to give to him. So we got a lot of them, but we did not get any full pulls, which was just brutal. But all things considered, we still have him. I'm still pretty happy with it. So let's dive in really quick here and look at the kit. As I was showing there, we need the Unsettling Rains here to unlock him, so you can get these from any of the rare chests, or as I was doing, using the Shadow of Fear chest to guarantee either just these or the Ancient Dragon Scales for the Witch King. So we got a bunch of those, and then obviously as we get more, we're going to get his respect up and unlock more abilities and things like that. So those are the items needed to gain his respect. He does have the support tag, so he gets plus 25 focus, and he also gets plus 5 skill points, which I think is extremely nice, because at level 20, all of a sudden, you get a huge influx of points that you have to spend, which can allow you to really get some abilities going for him. So I can show you in a second what abilities I've been using and how I'm liking him in comparison to maybe another commander like Kamul, who's very good, who's pretty accessible for either $1 if you want to do that, or just as a tier 2 commander. You can unlock him by getting the Shadowy Substance. So we'll kind of compare those two. Looking at his stats, he does have very high might. His might is 2.38 per level, starts at a base of 180, so his might is pretty much just through the roof, and his focus stat is 1.18, and his speed stat is 1.06. So everything's above 1.0, it seems like, for the tier 3 commanders especially. They don't typically have ones that are like too extremely low, but their high ones get pretty up there. So he's at 2.23 per level, and right now that's sitting at 285. The equipment I have on him obviously is going to be different based on what you have. I've just tried to bolster his might because that's the thing that he has the most of. So again, doing the pretty large pack opening, we had our choice of what we wanted to do. So just different things that increase the might. We got 48 might here with this thing, additional melee unit damage. Here we have melee unit damage reduction and more melee and army defense. And here we have more army defense for melee troops, more might, and damage reduction for melee units. And then this was just something I had. I don't have a great accessory for him, but it just gives us some more might and focus, as well as army attack for melee. So I'm using melee troops with him. That's pretty much what I have for the most part for the evil side. But those are the items I'm having with him right now to kind of bolster his abilities. So now taking a look at his skills, let me switch the camera around here. All right, I want to make sure we can all see the abilities here. So his two abilities that start at respect 0 are Undead Commander and Undertaker. Undead Commander gives your army a 60% chance of avoiding all physical damage from the first 4 hits sustained. That's the maxed out value there. And the max level effect is going to be plus 15 speed. Then we have Nimbleness, which gives all allied units damage reduction from ranged units. They take less damage from ranged troops. And then Dishearten, which makes the enemy units deal less damage overall. So these are all damage avoidance and damage reduction type of skills. And then up here we have Undertaker, which allows his normal attacks to deal a certain amount of damage to all enemies. So if he attacks, he hits everyone, which is really cool. This is not quite maxed out here, but right now I'm sitting at 65%. And the max level effect here is that this is going to inflict poison damage with his normal attacks. And then his two abilities here also have to do with poison damage. This one is called Delayed Plague, so it's kind of a later in the round, like big final hit. Round 7 against 2 enemy targets, deal a powerful, starting out at 114.2% poison damage once. And so that obviously jumps up there. It's doubling every time here. So you're going to be looking at like 800% basically of poison damage. That's going to be kind of nuts. And then Plague here against 2 enemy targets every 2 rounds, or the 2-round cooldown there. You deal 37.1% poison damage, and they cannot recover HP for 2 rounds. So when I started out with the Undying, I started with Undertaker and going into the different Plague abilities, but I was noticing, just like most of the troop commanders, that there was still a lot of troop lossage, which was kind of a problem. So I tried Undead Commander, and so far I've been liking that more, at least early on, just because it's so hard to keep troops from dying as evil. And in comparison to Kumul, who was a higher level and still is a higher level for me, the Undying most of the time has significantly less losses than Kumul, for example, or really any commanders that don't have healing. It's going to be the same thing. But you get the damage avoidance and the damage reduction, and again, the higher level he gets, the more troops you get with him. Skipping the first 4 hits is going to be huge to give you an advantage early on. Now, I don't think Undertaker is bad either. The fact that he deals damage to all units, he deals poison damage. This being just like a ridiculous amount of poison damage being dealt, and then this one, which I actually think goes really well with the kind of damage reduction, and so I made sure to put a point in here. I would suggest, if you are going into Undead Commander, to do 1 point in Plague, because you're going to automatically get the anti-recovery. So this is going to help with good commanders who are recovering a lot of HP, because after every 2-round cooldown here, every time this Plague ability gets used, you're not really caring about the damage as much as the fact that you get that the fact that they can't recover HP for 2 rounds. So you get that at level 1, so that's one you could do 1 point in each of these to get that going if you wanted to. But then I'm enjoying this right now. Now, I am going to get him to R3 hopefully soon, in which case I think I'm going to go into Ring Wraith, which increases all burn, poison, and focus damage received against all enemies, as well as extra focus for him. And then I'm probably going to be going into Nazgul Screech because there is a stun associated with this. So again, the idea here in my mind is going to be to bring troops that deal any of these types of damage, burn or poison damage, and then we stun lock them with the Nazgul Screech on round 1, so that slows them down. We avoid, hopefully, the first several instances of damage coming at us, and by the time the enemy's even able to take a move, they're going to be really, really worn out already, so you're just going to be able to wipe them out. So those are those 2 abilities. The last one here in the 3rd tree is going to be Morgul Poison. Each round, normal attacks inflict 10% poison damage, continuous for 2 rounds. So again, there probably is a crazy poison damage build you could do going into Undertaker, so that your normal attacks hit everyone. They deal poison damage. This allows them to, each round normal attacks do 10% poison damage, so I think it's just additional poison damage on top of the damage by the max level effect here. Not to mention the 2 poison abilities here. So there's a lot of stuff going on there with poisons. That could be a build that if you're interested in doing that. But lastly, and the thing that I think is going to make this commander the best, so best case scenario for me or for anyone, is that I full pull him so I can actually just get this right away, but it might be a while before I get R5. But this is called Second Wind, this last ability. It's on round 4. All allied units recover 30% HP, but they cannot regain HP afterwards, so it's just a round 4 and then nothing afterwards. And 30% is is what it starts out at, so that's going to go up quite a bit. And then the max level effect is that enemy units cannot recover HP at all. So all those annoying healing commanders that the good side has, if you have this maxed out, you're just going to shut that down completely. And some of those commanders really, really heavily rely on that so they can keep their troops freshened up and stick with it in the battles to stay around. So that is going to be insane. I think that with Undead Commander, it's going to be really hard to go against this guy. You could even do this and then go into some of the more damage dealing or poison dealing skills as well. So you're making sure to do a lot of damage, but also shutting down the healing. And then lastly, here, this is just increased damage for melee units. So not bad, especially all of our gear had stuff for melee units as well. So if we bring melee units, that's going to help them. And then here, the enemy army and commander have a reduction in their speed. And so I'm not sure how good these adjacent abilities are going to be in comparison to Second Wind, I think, being insane. But again, I think these are going to be solid as well. So again, obviously, this is going to be a harder commander to get, so not everyone's going to have him. But even if you don't have the Undying yet, or you know, however you're playing it, you carry on your respect season by season. So this might be something long term that you would end up getting. So you can start deciding, you know, which commanders you want to start kind of pushing for a little bit faster, or maybe as certain chests come around every season, like the Shadow of Fear chest, you can decide I really want to go for the Undying. I have, you know, so I can have them in a future season. So I'll do that chest, or maybe you're saving for a different one. So save for a different chest, whatever that is. So it doesn't matter if you don't have them now. It's good to learn about all the commanders so you can see what they've got going on. But that is the Undying kit. I think he is absolutely nuts. Again, like I said, compared to Kamul, who is 4 levels higher right now, he was quite a bit higher than 4 levels. I've just been doing some mock battling here. But even like about 10 level difference, they were doing a lot of the same work, and I had a lot less troop lossage with the Undying as compared to Kamul. So I've been extremely happy with him as a commander. So again, that's the Undying. That's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button to join our fellowship here on YouTube. And again, I linked the video to the 500 Matham chest opening that we got this guy from. So if you want to check that out, that'll be in the top right of the screen. But that's everything for me today, and I'll see you all in a future video.